Kennedy wasn't dead. Kennedy's coming back. It was in the tabloids all the time. And so that kind of floated around as him being the Antichrist for a while because, healed from the wound to the head. He seemed to fit that exact, but that never materialized. Um, Henry Kissinger. Now, this is an interesting one because he's still alive and he's involved. I mean, he's just called upon Obama to start a new world order, or this is the chance for him to start a new world order. So, there's some people I know that definitely put the finger on him. He's definitely a mover and shaker as far as a one world government type thing, and probably will have something to do with the Antichrist. So he's not totally out of the woods as far as being the Antichrist per se. It's just that he's so old, he's older, so one would think maybe it's a younger person, but the Antichrist does not have to rule for a long time if we're right on the door of the tribulation starting, or in the tribulation. Of course, King Juan Carlos of Spain. It's again because the Spanish aristocracy, it ties into the European Union one world government thing, or coming out of the European Union. But there is the thought of the Antichrist coming from the European Union, while believed by probably a majority of prophecy teachers, is not the only. It's not the only view, and I think more than likely, if it's going to come from a region, the region would be the Middle East and probably Islamic, or somebody that's kind of in the middle of both, that has ties to both. But, Ayatollah Khomeini, he was another one. He in Iran started their movement, overthrew the secular government of the Shah, and instituted the current government that is in Iran now, as far as the mullahs having power, control, and a strict Islamic government. But of course, he died. Ronald Reagan was mentioned for a while too, due to the fact that he was very popular, and of course he had 6 letters in all 3 of his names. Again, the idea any U.S. president potentially, if they have enough power or have some characteristic, is generally thought to be. Of course, Gorbachev for a while, and he's still not out of the woods yet either, because kind of like the Henry Kissinger, he's into the one world movement. He's a socialist. Those people who believe like a more Russian Antichrist, like a Putin. So he has connections to one world government issues. Just that he seems, again, maybe a little too old for the job, but that does not 100% disqualify him. Then we have the Maitreya, which is a kind of a new age personage that supposedly every once in a while has a message and says he's going to arise, and he never does, but I guess theoretically a possibility, because he's claiming the things that the Antichrist would do or be. He just hasn't made an appearance yet, and he probably won't as the Maitreya. Whenever the Antichrist shows up, my guess is it probably wouldn't be the Maitreya, but you never know. I mean, when somebody claims something, you never know for certain until the event happens. We won't know 100% for certain. Then there's Sun Myung Moon. He's the leader of the Unification Church. He openly claims to be the Messiah, but this seems to be he's more of a cult leader, and theoretically the Antichrist would be a type of cult leader. But he's been around a while, and he's been having legal issues and stuff. So, while a deceiver, maybe somebody moving in the spirit of Antichrist, probably is not, but cannot be 100% ruled out. Of course, Yasser Arafat for a while, that was kicked around, mainly because he signed a peace treaty with Israel, which was never adhered to. But, in the end, though, as the years went by, he aged and died. A bit of a wild card one, Louis Farrakhan. he has an Islamic tie though, and some real far out beliefs, and but very low, I would think, on the Antichrist radar. Very low. But again, nobody can be. With me, I rank them or give them possibilities, but I can't say out of fairness that anybody could truly be ruled out until they pass away or the event happens. The Habsburgs, the title Karl Habsburg. As there's another European family, and they also has a title of ruler over Jerusalem, like the Spanish royal family. They rule in the Holy Roman Empire and European Union. Again, that's the European Union tie. He's there. Of course, William Clinton. Again, we go back to a U.S. president, the sly person, arrogant potentially. Supposedly numerology of the name comes to 666. He's not out of the woods yet. He does have like a one world movement organization going on. So it's be interesting to see if that develops with him. But it does seem likely that that it wouldn't be him. That it's slipping away. Bill Gates also comes up for some reason. I guess because he's very rich, and with computers. I mean, you can take the numerology of the word computer and it adds to 666. And some people I've even heard as far as say that it says the gates of hell shall not prevail, and they insert his last name Gates. That's way out there. But anybody with a lot of power, and influence in people's minds can be a candidate, even no matter how tenuous the link could be. Then we have like Prince Charles, or him or his younger son. I think numerology. I think his name equates. They all the European royalties all related. So if the European scenario comes to fruition, virtually any of the heads of states, heads of royalty could be, because they're all related. And England being a strong country, and the king actually having a lot of authority there, he could actually do have the authority to do some of the things mentioned. But we shall see. That's all the time we have in this episode to discuss it. We'll definitely have another episode and give you more contenders and thoughts on who the Antichrist could be. But in the meantime, you can email me your questions, comments, your someone who you think is the Antichrist, and contact me at rev1301@yahoo.com, or log on to the website of rev1301.com. And may God bless and keep you. Goodbye.
The devil who deceived them was thrown into the lake of fire and sulfur where the beast and the false prophet are, and they will be tormented day and night forever and ever. I also saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared like a bride adorned for her husband. Then I heard a loud voice from the throne. Look, God's dwelling is with men, and he will live with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them, and be their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. Death will exist no longer. Grief, crime, and pain will exist no longer, because the previous things have passed away.
The Revelation 13 podcast is hosted by Mike Hopwood, and is a podcast dedicated to the study of end-time events news events, and ancient mysteries.